Well, I have three words. Oh my goodness. It just hit me. I did not record my Sunday chat. I've been caught up with so many other things. Oh my word. How you doing today? Hope everybody is doing well. Thank you so much for being here. Hi, this is Jan. Welcome to a little bit of time with me on the Save Money and More with Jan channel. You know, we did a really nice collab yesterday, Steve and I, and thank you so much for those that have visited it. If you haven't had an opportunity, we share our favorite grocery items that are $2 or less. There are a lot of things out there that could be, purchased and doctored up and turned into something very, very creative. Sometimes we get a little boring or a little, maybe in a bit of a food rut by not planning meals to be a little bit more exciting. Sometimes the most exciting meals happen spontaneously. Has that ever happened to you before? For example, let's say that you started off, well, I'm just going to have a plain old burger, right? Maybe. I mean, that could have been like your intention. Don't get me wrong. A delicious plain old burger is delicious. I'm not complaining. But let's say you started off with a plain old burger, then all of a sudden you discovered some sort of a different way to season it up, or maybe use a different kind of cheese than the one that you've been using for the last 400 years. Sometimes a little bit of a minor change. Now, this happened to me this morning, literally. I had some hot dog rolls in the freezer. I just want to mention to you, like, hot dog buns or hamburger buns are not confined to only be used with hot dog rolls, or, I mean, with hot dogs, or rather hamburgers. You could do other things with it. And I'll tell you a couple of things. So this morning I said, you know what? I'm going to put my scrambled eggs on top of a toasted hot dog roll. That's what I did. Here's what I did. I opened it up, right? I put it in the air fryer. I let it air fry for less than 5 minutes. Less than 5 minutes at 350. Keep an eye on it. It came out perfectly toasted, and it was, opened it up and it was caramelized on the inside, and I put a little bit of butter on the interior side of it, and then I put a little bit of garlic powder on top of my scrambled eggs. It was delish. Just taking something that a usual thing that's in your home or apartment, in your freezer, your bread box, whatever, and just turning it around. And many years ago, I learned the trick with, if you have stale, let's say that you have really stale, not green molded, big difference. If you have stale hot dog rolls or hamburger rolls, you could turn it into some amazing, amazing French toast or bread pudding. And yes, it does the trick. And I've done that. I've done that with the hamburger rolls and the hot dog rolls. Just cut them up. It's basically the same bread. If you compare a hamburger bun to a hot dog roll, it is basically like the same type of a bread. So you could utilize it in the same manner. And it's amazing what we could do. You know what I never heard of until very recently? Already done up hard boiled eggs. Like they're vacuum sealed. How many of you out there have ever tried it? I know some people that really they swear by them. They really, really love them. I've never tried it. To me, it's no big deal to just, boil up an egg, a few eggs in the beginning of the week, put them away in my refrigerator and use it. But I do get the concept of it. It's like you don't have to worry about taking the shell off. It's already done. Some people utilize them for deviled eggs, or, like a very quick egg salad. But for me, I just, I do it the old fashioned way. I am curious to know if anybody has ever tried those vacuum sealed eggs. I understand they have a longer shelf life than, let's say, if you boil an egg and put it in a refrigerator. I understand that that product, I think, has about a 30-day window. Don't quote me on it. I'm just saying. I mean, like, these are like these, new innovative ideas. How many of you out there like to have meatloaf, right? Or little quiches? Well, this is where your muffin pan comes in handy. You could take your mixture of either quiche or a mixture of, your meatloaf recipe, and just put them inside your little muffin tins, and you have like little individual ones, okay? And that makes it easy. You could just pop them out, use them as needed during the week. You pop them out for lunch. I mean, it's portion control. What an inexpensive way for portion control. Hello. So years ago, there was a dehydrated tomato soup, a cream of tomato soup. I think it was one of the first ones first company that ever came out with it. Then it vanished off the shelves, and it was really, really delicious. So I was like, oh, I was in the mood of that, specifically that brand and specifically that style, because it was individually portioned out. I like things that could be individually portioned out. It's convenient, get the calorie count and so on and so forth. So I did a little research, and you can still find that type of soup. Remember I mentioned about dehydrated soups, the Lipton one, for example, the noodle, chicken noodle one. Those are great to have. And it occurred to me, I said, I'm going to try so I ordered the dehydrated tomato soup. That should be coming in literally today. I'm expecting it in delivery, but I am curious to try it. So that should be good. These are the types of things, while I'm just thinking about it, that really would make a great friend of ours on our longer term stockpile shelves. Yes, yes, yes. And that reminds me of something. Ever have a day when it's like dinner time, but you don't want a huge meal? You want something savory, right? But you don't want a lot of it. That's when the light bulb went off, and I said, well, walk over to your little stockpile and see what gives. And there was a wonderful can of good old fashioned chicken noodle soup, the condensed one. And this was like the store brand. It wasn't the national brand. It was a store brand, and it was just as good as the national brand. And I enjoyed it thoroughly. So I made a piece of toast to go with it, and I had a banana, and that was like my entire meal. And sometimes you just don't want a heavy meal. How many of you feel like that about certain meals? Doesn't, that's another thing I think people do. I don't know why. People, we all do it. We've all been there. We've all done that. So I'm just saying that many times, for whatever the reason, and I'm not quite sure of the reason, we tend to, I don't know, we tend to complicate things, and it doesn't have to be complicated. That's why I encourage anyone, as all of us, see, a stockpile is an ever living, breathing thing. It's not like you just do it and then that's the end of that. No, it's not like that. It's like a concurrent thing. That's why I urge all of us, as we constantly build in or feed into our grocery stockpile, whether it's our active pantry or the longer term stuff, to get things that are realistically things that you could like really use productively. And those dehydrated products, they are a smart move. Okay, they are a smart maneuver. Now, I heard repeatedly on various other channels. I did not personally research that information on my own. I heard on other channels, and it's like I'm hearing the same repeated thing about watch out for beef prices in the next few months. So, so if you see anything that's related to beef, and lots of us enjoy to have beef, like some of those canned beefs, get it while you can, while before the prices may go up much higher, or shortages of. I don't personally, like I said, I don't know that personally yet, but I was thinking that's something I would like to, continue to build upon in my own stockpile. Not that I eat tons of meat. I like meat. I enjoy meat, but I think over time I've gotten really used to eating less meat. I think literally out of habit. So that if I do have meat, it's like, oh wow, what a treat. Like, like maybe once a week, maybe I go for meat. Maybe I think maximum twice a week. Say meat, I mean like red meat. Okay. I don't think I go ever beyond 2 times a week for red meat ever. That's just me. I don't know, just like develop that habit. Of course, I have chicken or turkey or, things of that nature, or dairy, stuff of that nature. But the trick is to be able to get protein at the best possible prices, no matter what the protein. The protein could be beans and rice. I mean, that's a complete protein. Okay. So I'm just saying, that's the trick. If you can get that, you could do great with that and get it at the best possible price, because protein has been scientifically proven to be the thing that literally calms down your appetite and quells your appetite. So for example, a person can eat, like, let's just say, just plain rice, and yeah, sure, it fills you up. Absolutely, you are filled up. But then an hour later, you're like, wait a minute, I feel like you still want to eat something because it's not a complete protein. But team up protein, let's say like beans and rice, if you have that together, that's a complete protein. That's going to stop your appetite. Or just say have an unfancy thing like a couple of eggs, okay? Again, I'm going to repeat this again. Meals do not have to be fancy. We're not here to impress anyone. For example, if you want just a sausage sandwich and you don't have like all the fancy bells and whistles and you just have onions, so you have some sausage and onions and you're happy with it and you're satisfied with that, great. I mean, you're not there to impress. But speaking of things that go well with sausage, definitely fresh peppers or peppers in a jar go very, very well with sausage. But if you don't have it and you only have the onions, then you just, like go for the onions. So I'm just saying these are just like a little bit of helpful reminders. Don't have to be fancy to enjoy a meal. It does not have to absolutely be fancy at all whatsoever. And food shouldn't be there for impression. It should be there to satisfy your hunger. Period. I know that I think we make a lot fuss about food. Well, sure, of course, near the holiday season. I get that. Of course, absolutely. But just like the rest of the year, don't feel badly if you don't have the fanciest of. I know that so many folks are just grateful to have food, period. I know that. And I definitely myself, I always, appreciate absolutely everything. And by the way, I appreciate you. Thank you so much in advance for, a wonderful upcoming week. I am very hopeful. Just want to say this as an aside. I'm very hopeful that things are, hopefully look up to the brighter way, the better way. I'm praying hard. I'm sure you are too. And every one of us, that wants a better way, we just, continue to just do the right thing and continue on that way and hope for the future, literally hope for the future. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. I really do appreciate everybody's time. Have a remaining wonderful weekend. And by the way, I'm just going to mention this tomorrow, big, big, big event in Madison Square Garden. I'm just saying, very, very interesting. And the channel Barry Cunningham, he's going to cover that at 3 p.m. So he's going to cover that live streaming. Barry Cunningham, for those that are interested, some are, some aren't. But I think it's going to be very, very, very special event. It's a great way to see people in this great city come together and it's going to be a fantastic event for anyone who's interested in watching that stream. Go over to Barry's channel. I know you will very much appreciate it. In the meantime, stay safe, stay happy, have a wonderful remainder of the weekend. Don't forget to take good care of yourself and your wonderful family.